Good evening. This is your commissioner speaking. And welcome to episode 16, also known as the Super Bowl preview of the Sunday Funday podcast. And as always, speaking of a Super Bowl preview, I'm joined by my co-host, Coach Seeks. And Seeks, I can feel the excitement already all the way from over here. Your fan base is ready. You're ready. It's been a long wait in your neck of the woods. How does it feel to be one win away from winning your first ever Super Bowl title in the Sunday Funday League?
It's hard to find words. I was thinking about today. I was ready for this day after I picked select on Justin Jefferson. I knew that I'd have a good run, but to say I would be here, man, I don't have words for it. It was a great run. We're ready to finish the job now.
Right, job is not finished. And with the Super Bowl stage set, why don't we take a quick look back at how we got to the finish line of the 2022 Sunday Funday season in a segment I like to call... You look good in that suit. Let's see if you can still hit it.
Oh, yeah.
Hit it! All right, let's start out here, Coach Six, with the showdown between the number 2 seed and the number 3 seed. We had a good one here as the Rocky Mountain Oysters took on the fourth quarter Zips. Rookie versus the vet. And this one was a roller coaster ride, Coach Six, with Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts sitting this one out. We had an old-fashioned waiver wire quarterback battle between Kirk Cousins and Tom Brady. But this one came all the way down to Sunday Night Football. RMO needed only 10 points from Tom Brady, which seemed like an easy task at the time, but it wasn't looking good. Midway through the third quarter, as Rocky Mountain Oysters, he shot me a text and said he had to turn the game off after halftime. He couldn't even bear to watch it. And in typical Brady comeback fashion, he got the points he needed to surge past those fourth quarter Zips, sending the Rocky Mountain Oysters back into the Super Bowl for the first time since 2019. His third Super Bowl appearance after the 152 to 148 nail-biter.
It was one of those unique weekends where you had games going on Saturday, Sunday, and again, being the guy on the other side, not knowing who you were going to face, it was Scotty Q. Going into it, Hawkinson had a game. He had 30-plus.
Yep.
And out of nowhere, who would have thunk Cam Akers, who's been added and dropped more than anybody I know, dropped a 30-point bomb. And again, I think that was Bloses afterwards. Scotty Q, hell of a season. You know, if you didn't have that Cam Akers performance, you very much could have been facing me, but just want to tip the cap there. It was a great victory for RMO. Good game, really good game.
Great game, yes, and good call on the Cam Akers thing. That was out of nowhere.
Randy Orton. Yeah, it was nuts.
And on to, you ready for this one, Coach Seeks? The highly anticipated showdown between Seeks by the catch and that Billy Ward, the Snapchat King. And this matchup seemed a lot closer than it really was, because Coach Seeks, as our number 1 seed, you stumbled out of the gates at first, giving the Snapchat King a nice head start in that fantasy matchup after Patty Mahomes, T. Higgins, and DJ Moore all took turns punching Seeks by the catch in the mouth. But a tale as old as time. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Because when you swing at the number 1 seed, you best finish him. Unfortunately for the Snapchat King, Seeks shook off those punches a little dazed and confused, sending out his team captains, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, who put up 58 points combined, getting them right back into it. And poor sweet Billy Lou Who, all he wanted was to have a good night's sleep on Christmas Eve. The cookies and the carrots were out for Santa and his reindeer until, a little sprinkled there, George Kittle, 30 points out of nowhere. Some may call it the Grinch who stole Christmas, but it was only Seeks who stole Christmas in this one, as Jalen Waddle tucked in the defending champion, gave him a kiss on the forehead, took one look at that Super Bowl trophy and said, "You won't be needing this any longer, young boy." And after getting eliminated by the Snapchat King in last year's playoffs, Seeks, by the catch, returns the favor on this holiday weekend, ending the Snapchat King's hopes at a repeat, returning to the Super Bowl for the second time after the 154 to 137 final.
Dude, the live game where it shows like Thursday to Saturday to Sunday, like it quite literally was like that, like a heartbeat. Like it was, he was up, I made a push. Like it was one of those games I never felt comfortable in. Joe Burrow, Devontae Foreman, both on my bench. I thought that it was game over at that point. But again, too many dogs, man. Too many dogs on this squad. I felt great. I think it's definitely due to give my respect to Billy Ward, man. I was down on him all year, but again, I was down on him because I was most fearful of his team most of all. He had that team that, like, you know, we knew we had to get past him to get to this point. So I just want to give some kudos to Billy Ward. He played like a champion till the end. So great game, Billy. Appreciate the respect there.
Absolutely. And Coach Seeks, is it fair to say you never slept on the Snapchat Gang?
No, you can't. You can't, man. That game, you play that game 100 times, it's split down the middle, man. That was a really good game. So just happy that we came out and we're here in the Super Bowl.
Woo. Coach Seeks advances. And Coach Seeks, some quick notes to add here. Yep. The Boogsy Man took down the Tiger Sharks 124 to 115 for the 5th place. Woo! Sunday Bloody Sunday and best tight end here escaped the dreaded last place matchup and wins over the Rookies of the Year. And Brando's Country, let's ride.
Yeah, that was a big Eckler touchdown for the best tight end here on Monday night. Congrats to you as well. You had a good season, man.
Thank you as always. It's at the end of the road here, Coach Seeks. It is. We've come a long way. It's been a long season. The week before the Super Bowl. What better time to toss back in, or should I say, sprinkle back in the Coach Speaks segment. And as I said before, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 seconds, the floor is yours. What do you have for us?
I think it's impolite. I definitely, as a host, do you have any questions before we make any statements?
Coach Seeks. Oh, sorry. Coach Speaks. Coach Speaks.
Yes, you on the other Zoom.
I got a question for you, Coach Speaks. What is the difference between nerves and excitement heading in to the Super Bowl matchup this weekend?
I think the difference is 2020 versus 2022. Nerves, I picture me never there, bright-eyed, don't know who's going to take the field, what's what. Excitement is knowing how we tripped at the finish line in 2020, and we're just excited to kind of close the gaps on what we did before. There's definitely more excitement this year, so I'm ready to go.
You guys are ready. You guys are locked in. And Coach Seeks, I did bring it up in the fantasy football group chat. It was pretty funny how I said I have a feeling that this year there's going to be a coach who wins the Super Bowl for the first time. And both you and Rocky Mountain Oysters were the only ones to reply. Now look at you, months later.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a coach, Rocky Mountain. He lost to Wookiees in 2019.
He did.
We were there. So we're both kind of in equal footing. I know folks they'll throw out like favorites versus projections. Like these are two coaches and teams that have both tasted it before and definitely want to hold up the trophy. So I know how much Coach Armo wants it, so we're definitely not overlooking him as a competitor.
And my last question for you, Coach. This has been a very different year for you. Ever since the draft, you were like, "This is not a Coach Seeks team." I went a different route this year, and clearly it's worked. I mean, even fast forward to the trade deadline, no trades were made this year. It's like I don't even know who you are. What's your message to this team and your approach into this season, how it's worked for you?
Yeah, I mean, I know when draft day came, we had kind of like a whiteboard. It played into our field, and when I looked at the team, I remember texting, I was like, I don't know if I make a trade this year. It was a group that I thought was a 17-week team to keep together, and they definitely showed that this year. We had some gritty wins, and we built off of our losses. So, I mean, looking at it that way, it's not a Coach Seeks team before. I think that's a great thing, because that Coach Seeks, he traded his first son, to get a wide receiver too. Love the team that I have, and I think this is a group that I want to go into the Super Bowl and hoist up the trophy with. So we'll see.
I love it. All right, Coach Seeks, tunnel vision now, baby. Eye on the prize.
And the other thing too, there was a report out this morning that said, if I lose, I'm going to do my Coach Seeks antics and I'm going to retire.
Oh,
I got to get in front of them. I'm here next year, whether I win or lose. We're bought in. The fan base is around us. We're here to play. We're here to shoot the podcast. Coach Seeks is committed this year.
I love it. Maybe not next week if you lose, but definitely next year.
Yeah, no comment on what happens next week.
Well, Coach Seeks, we made it. We are here. The Super Bowl preview. For the first time doing this episode on video, we finally have a podcast member in the big game. Yeah. And Coach Seeks, it's a question I've asked you all season long. Mm-hmm. Have you gotten a chance to take a look at the upcoming slate of games, including the Super Bowl matchup we have ahead?
I may have looked at the games.
Well, with that being said, let's go. All right, Coach Seeks, let's knock these ones out of the way first. The first one I got to toss up here for you, it's a battle for last place between Brando's country, let's ride, and the Wookiees of the year. Who do you have escaping this one, and who do you have as our new singer for the 2023 Sunday Funday podcast theme song?
I think Brando obviously wins the game. He has never taken his foot off the gas, and that's, again, why I have mine full throttle for him as a rider. And there's something about Wooks is, I think, the only person that has a more nasally voice than I. And a Wookiees Sunday Funday theme song, I am craving it. So my hopes is that Brando finishes the job. Brando gets this one.
Easily. I gotta agree with you there. Wooks, we're gonna have some fun with this. If you lose, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this song. All right, and as for the two teams that just missed out of the Super Bowl, who do you have claiming the third place title between the Snapchat King and the fourth quarter Zips?
Look, it's gonna be a Snapchat King coming in third place. I've looked at both of them, and again, this is not to slight Scotty Q. First year in the league, and he's top 14. Big kudos to him. I just think when it comes down to Billy's team, I've seen what he can do, and he has so many players that can go off. He has all the hot hands on his bench and in his lineup. I think that's the key to the victory there. I think it's a very close game that Billy Ward walks away with.
And I will jump on you with that one. I think Billy Ward hates losing.
Yep, he does.
He's gonna take the third place title here. He's gonna take the third place title. Uh-oh. Coach Seeks, I know you hear what I'm hearing. One team, one trophy to rule the Sunday Funday League. And here we go. And over in one corner, we have that old man Strike. Yeah, they changed their name heading into this season, but maybe that was the change they needed to take that next step. With Jalen Hurts' status up in the air, which version of this team will show up? And the biggest game of their life. Your number 3 seed, the Rocky Mountain Oysters. And in the other corner, sitting on that iron throne, the number 1 seed, led by fantasy football monster Justin Jefferson. In every single obstacle that's been thrown their way this season, he can finally put it all to rest with this one. One more win. Hands down, the most dominant season put together by this coach. Your number 1 seed, Seeks by the catch. And I guess I'll go first here, Coach Seeks.
Up to you.
And I know you're the clear favorite heading into this one. There's no lying about that. Everyone knows. Projections are not. Sizing up the lineups, you are the favorite. One thing about me is I love an underdog, Coach Seeks. I sure do. So I got a question for you, Coach Seeks. How likely is it that Jalen Hurts suits up on Sunday?
I think
it doesn't matter if he suits up on Sunday. I got Coach Seeks hoisting that title this weekend. Congratulations, Coach Seeks. You deserve it. You earned it. And I can't wait to see it happen for you. Congratulations.
Wow. To answer your question, it's really going to come down to, does Coach Samaro, does his local fandom think that Tom Brady is a guy that can take them there? Does he ride the hot hand? He's got Purdy on his bench, and Purdy has Jimmy G's weapons. I, too, am going to be kind of in the QB carousel. Do you have a gimpy Justin Fields with a favorable matchup, or do you have a Monday Night Football? You always are so fearful with players going in prime time.
Yep.
Burrow, Bills. It's going to be interesting to see who is the QBs that are leading these Super Bowl teams, because right now, both of us have no idea. And I think that's very exciting. He has dogs in the fight too. CeeDee Lamb has been putting up astronomical numbers ever since Dak came back. Joe Mixon's a guy, as a Patriots fan, ran all over the Patriots defense, which was supposed to be a really good defense. He has Cam Akers, who can drop 30 out of nowhere. And he has Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, again, whether it doesn't matter. I think whether Lamar plays will kind of factor that in, because they threw their first touchdown throwing pass for a while.
Yep.
It's going to be a very close game, and it's so there's no way that I lose this game. I can't even give the spin around it. We just have our guys ready to go. All respect to Coach RMO. I just actually Googled what Rocky Mountain oysters are. They're not seafood. Kids at home, don't Google what Rocky Mountain oysters are. It's not seafood. But this is a guy that plays with the Rocky Mountain oysters. He's got a set of them, and we're not overlooking him. I just think this year is our year. It's felt like our year. We have our guys ready to go. You got to go with Coach Seeks. Always Coach Seeks. When in doubt, Coach Seeks.
And once you hit your stride, Coach Seeks, whatever week that was, you've been trying to fast forward to the Super Bowl ever since then. You finally have made it, and now is the time to shine, my friend. Now is the time.
16-week preseason, we're ready for the damn thing.
Woo!
I'm excited.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to episode 16 of the Sunday Funday podcast, the Super Bowl preview. And Seeks, since it's your big week ahead, here are the keys. The sign off here is all yours.
Well, Commissioner, I appreciate you hosting this week, quarterbacking this podcast. It's been a great year all around. I think you and I were virtual every year, but we made it very realistic. So I'm first and foremost want to thank you for that. Thanks to all the coaches out there that battled it out. Definitely going to be watching all the other matchups. And I wish everybody all the best of luck this week. Except for you, Rocky Mountain Oysters. This is your co-host, Coach Seeks, and potential Super Bowl winner,